Here to Cynthia Michael from Screw Reviews, bringing you my 615 podcast. This is my 615 podcast. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that means you get to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, anyway, with this and anything else at the way, let's get into the topic. Lately I've been lately during the latest era of the basically in the latest era of the weary era being the third era for a lot of Japanese shows such as whether it's Sentai, Kamen Rider, or other animations such as One Piece and all that. But anyway, my film. Blah, blah, blah. So bear with me here. Anyway, so basically, ever since Gundam ever since Gundam came out with their first Gundam series, led by a female, having the first ever female protagonist lead a Gundam series, there's been a lot of uproar been going on about this. A lot of it's been positive, and some of it's been, a little negative. But there seems to be a demand for other franchises, like Digimon, Digimon, Beyblade, other animated franchises that's been going on for a while, who has always had male protagonists leading these franchises in different series. So basically, since Gundam Witch of Mercury, it has really started to demand that maybe some of these franchises should think about it. Should think about what, let's do a female protagonist, and as a main lead of a anime series. Basically, it's been channeled to basically to young kids, basically focused on young males. So basically, Yu-Gi-Oh has been. So basically, a lot of people are wondering. Since Yu-Gi-Oh has been going for a while, so basically Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty much just like when it comes to franchises based off basically ongoing franchises. Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty much it's like the king of the card games when it comes to anime franchises. So basically, a lot of people have been wondering after the current Yu-Gi-Oh series is over, being Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's Go, will the series after it will be led by the first ever female protagonist, and the first ever antagonist lead the next Yu-Gi-Oh series. Cause Yu-Gi-Oh has been ever since the first season. Well, if you've been watching the Japanese version, you've been watching season 0 and whatnot. But anyway, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh fans, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players have been wondering, when are the people behind Yu-Gi-Oh are going to really finally give us a female protagonist and a female antagonist to, in a Yu-Gi-Oh series as the main lead. Because, over the years we had some good and some bad, like some good and bad female dudes that feast throughout the many different Yu-Gi-Oh series, but then most of the time, but in typical fashion, they always play, always been the support characters to the male protagonist, or sometimes the male antagonist and whatnot. So basically, I think it's time to Yu-Gi-Oh to take a chance, like Sunrise did with Gundam, and finally give us a first ever the first ever female protagonist leading the next Yu-Gi-Oh series, and also give us a first ever female antagonist. That is in that series as well. But it's been up in the air what they're going. But ever since the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh died some time ago, it's been up the air what's going to be the future of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. So basically, what the next manga, who's gonna take over the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, will that manga series be good enough to be adapted into the next Yu-Gi-Oh series, blah blah blah. It's been up in the air ever since the original creator of Yu-Gi-Oh died. So basically, it's been up. That's the main point. If we do get a new person to take over the Yu-Gi-Oh series, being the manga series, and that manga series gets adapted, will that person keep on doing? Will that person, will that person, decide to change things up, having a female protagonist be the main lead of that Yu-Gi-Oh series, or stick with the old boy club, having a male protagonist, be the main lead of that of any future Yu-Gi-Oh series. So basically, it's been kind of whoever takes over the Yu-Gi-Oh series, being the manga gets adapted into anime. So basically, whoever they choose to pick to to do any future Yu-Gi-Oh manga series that gets adapted into a Yu-Gi-Oh animated series, really has that power. How much that the people behind Yu-Gi-Oh is going to back that person out, and say that I want to do a female protagonist. Gundam, we see there's been a lot of positives with Gundam Witch of Mercury. There's been a lot of positive reception. Now there's been some negativity towards Gundam Witch of Mercury series, but a lot of it's been positive. So basically, there's been a lot of cosplay. We see people dressing up as Serena Mercury. At conventions and whatnot, at anime conventions and at anime and manga conventions, we see a lot of Serena Mercury cosplay. So basically, whoever the people behind Yu-Gi-Oh, whoever they get to, to do any future Yu-Gi-Oh manga series, I believe they should back that person up, and basically, if they choose to do if that person decide or persons decide to do, like, I want to take. I'm gonna take Yu-Gi-Oh in this direction, and have the first ever female protagonist and the first in the first male and the first female antagonist, and be the stars of this series. So basically, I would like to see something like this happen in the next Yu-Gi-Oh series. But it's been for the last couple of Yu-Gi-Oh series, as we need to do something new with the Yu-Gi-Oh series going forward. So basically, having a female protagonist and a female antagonist will be a good step in the future of Yu-Gi-Oh, and finally get those female fans recognition as well. Because honestly, like Yu-Gi-Oh is considered to be a male manga, but it's loved by all genders. So basically, I would like to see something. I would like to see whatever the people behind Yu-Gi-Oh decide to do with the Yu-Gi-Oh series in the future. I would like to see a future Yu-Gi-Oh series being led by a female main protagonist and also having a female antagonist as well. So basically, this is what I'm hoping for. But at the end of the day, it's really up to the people behind the Yu-Gi-Oh series if they want to go this route, or if they want to go, if they want to do this or not. But all we can do is just hope and pray that if they want to go that route and see and try out and see will a female protagonist and a female antagonist can work for could work as work in the next future Yu-Gi-Oh series. But at the end of the day, we can just hope and pray. So anyway, what do you guys think about that? Do you believe that should the next Yu-Gi-Oh series be led by a female protagonist and have a female antagonist, also have a female antagonist in a future Yu-Gi-Oh series after Yu-Gi-Oh Let's Go? Please let us know with the comments below. Anyway, signing off. 1.